Jews, Christians, and Theosophists are brothers. And the three of them are brothers to the other traditional and legitimate religions and philosophies around the world. Now, in the 2020s, in our 21st century, the number grows of Christians that sincerely believe we are at the end of times and the world, as we know, will disappear very soon. Let us see that from the theosophical perspective. They are right. The world is about to finish as we know it. But this is not something that will occur on the physical and material plane necessarily. In fact, every serious indication shows that we are undergoing the end of a time, the end of times, the end of a cycle, and the end of a world, the end of a mental world, the end of an emotional world, and the death of ignorance in the dense form it has presented itself so far in human history. So it's a good news that we are undergoing now and living and watching now the end of the world. Good news, excellent. But it is too early yet to celebrate that. We would rather, and this is our obligation, work for peace to win the day. Now, the expectation of an imminent end of the world did not start occurring in Christian and Jew minds last week. No, it was not. From the early Christians on, many people have been expecting the end of the world very soon, in the near future. And in Matthew 24:34, we see these words by Jesus. This generation will not pass before all these things become fulfilled. What things did Jesus mention? Well, planetary signs of a great cyclic change in the geological process, signs that a new great master should appear, and so on, in the immediate versicles before Matthew 24:34. So the expectation for the immediate end of the world is something very authentic in Christian tradition. However, how do we understand these words? This is another issue. There are at least two or three meanings in these expectation. First, the day of judgment, okay? The day of judgment is associated with these end of times. The end of judgment means the end of each physical incarnation of us. When we end an incarnation, we confront a moment of review of what has taken place and judgment, in the sense that the post-mortem evolution, the post-mortem trajectory is defined in that, let us say, judgment. This is one application of this. Now, the Messiah, the coming of the Messiah, also the end of an incarnation, The Messiah is our higher self. Blavatsky said that Christ is crucified today and for many centuries in the heart of each human being. So when we physically die, Christ crucified in our lower self, in our hearts, in our human and limited hearts, is liberated and comes back to the control of the process of the soul. So these are some indications as how to interpret the expectation of the end of the world, which individually means the end of a lifetime, and the coming of the Messiah, which individually means the resurrection of Christ within. The Master, the Messiah, is our own higher self. In theosophical terms, Atma and Atma Buddhi, or monad. Besides that, there is another true and legitimate way to look at it from the point of view of long cycles of planetary evolution, when from time to time there are profound climatic, planetary, geological changes in conjunction with things in the sky, which means astrological signs, astrological processes. So all these things are part of the present moment always, not only in this first half of 21st century. Okay? We must remember the end is soon, the end of our own lives. In less than 100 years, most of us will be dead, even if we are very young. So the end of time can take place at any time, because living is dangerous and one must have wisdom and care and be cautious. On the other hand, we have long times, long cycles, which would be which should be examined another day. For now, I would say, yes, we are confronting the end of times, the end of a perception of time, the end of a perception of world, the end of a world view. Not the end of the world physically, but the end of a world perception. And this is tremendously painful because of our attachment to old views, to dead letter views of scriptures, to fantasies of self-importance, to attachment of corporate view of reality. My church says that, so this is true. My sect says that, so this is true. I should not investigate independently truth. I must just obey what others say. All these things are in question now in the first half of the 21st century. Each one must take his cross and go ahead and follow the way to truth, the way to Jesus in Christian terms. To take his cross is to take his karma and think independently. So the end of time, the end of the world is now. And this is good, because a new world is being born now, and the new world is much better than the old one.